I am Jona Neidhart from Switzerland. From March 2022 to December 2023, I was part of the International Legion of Defense of Ukraine and fought as a rifleman, anti-tank fighter and machine gunner in the Kharkiv, Luhansk and Donetsk regions of Ukraine against the terror state Russia, which invaded Ukraine under Putin's direction unprovoked for reasons of power and expansion. It was the best decision of my life and I will never regret it. After I left the International Legion of Defense of Ukraine at the end of December 2023, I went public to draw attention to Ukraine in Switzerland and the West because we are still far away from responding correctly and powerfully to Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the West. Yes, Russia's attack on Ukraine is not just an attack on a neighboring country, but an attack on the whole democratic world. Russia's ultimate goal is world dominion and the end of democracy in order to have absolute power and control over all of us. If we do not wake up from our sleep of death, Russia and its allies will achieve their goals. I came back to Switzerland right before the Peace Summit in mid-June 2024 to get arrested and prosecuted in order to get the necessary attention to be able to send a strong signal to Switzerland and the West that times have changed and that the time to act unanimously and powerfully against dictators like Putin has come now. Dictatorships and democracies cannot be reconciled. The only language dictatorships understand is the language of unconditional force and intimidation. Anything else will end in a victory for dictatorships and the collapse of democracy. And here is my message to Switzerland. Neutrality is outdated and jeopardizes the safety and stability of the democratic world. We live in a time where the whole democratic world has to act and to decide as one in order to survive. Freedom and independence do not mean that I can do what I want and that I do not have to care about others, but it means that I counsel and decide with others what is best for all and provide in this way also the environment to allow the best personal growth as an individual, as a family and as a society. In short, Switzerland has to open itself entirely to the democratic world and become a strong and reliable partner and protector of democracy, freedom and independence by supporting the democratic world financially, economically, politically and even militarily, just as any democratic country should be doing. And to the European Union and NATO, and in short the whole democratic world, I have the following to say. The unprovoked attack on one democratic country has to be considered an attack on all democratic countries, and one democratic country threatening or betraying another democratic country has to be considered as doing it to all. In other words, there has to be an immediate and uncompromising response to any clear and obvious threat to democracy, freedom and independence in or outside the democratic world by the members of the democratic world, like the following: the cutting of all diplomatic ties, the imposing of absolute economic sanctions, the providing of all necessary weapons and the unconditional military support of the suffering country in order to terminate the threat. Last, I want to talk to the individual. Whenever our governments and alliances fail to live up to their duty to protect democracy, freedom and independence, it is our duty as a free individual to go and do what our governments and alliances should be doing. Meaning, if a democratic country like Ukraine is attacked unprovoked and our governments and alliances fail to provide true and meaningful support and protection, we have to go and fight instead, especially when a country like Ukraine is constantly begging for support. Imagine the impact the individual would have had if millions of such individuals had joined the International Legion of Defense of Ukraine. The war would have been over a long time ago, even without the direct involvement of our governments and alliances. Slava Ukraini!